Hey y'all, the day is still Mother's Day. I still have on my makeup. I need to go take it off, but I did change my clothes. So if you've seen my previous video where I did my little happy Mother's Day message, that is still the same day. I've just been sitting here thinking about how far I've come, and I grabbed my camera because I feel like there's a word in this, and mainly because last year at this time, I couldn't see myself where I am right now. I couldn't see the Tiffany that I am now. I was so last year I was so things were so foggy for me, and two because I had just started my walk with God, and I had a lot going on with a lot of different things um, along with my divorce. So I couldn't see past. I couldn't see past the next day, pretty much. And I have grown to the point to where now I focus on the day. I focus on the day, but I know that there is a better tomorrow. I know that I see myself in a different light, and I can see myself in the future, if that makes sense. So I'm saying all this to say that it does not matter where you are in life. When you decide to step out on faith and start your walk with God, and you're in the midst of your walk, God is going to show you things that's going to help you along your way, but it's going to also give you a broader, um how could I put this, it's going to give you a insight on life at um a broader range. Like, it's going to be you're going to be able to look outside of your problems to focus on the things that in life that God is calling you to work on, the things in life that you were called to do. And it may not be ministry, it could be anything. God can call you to do anything. It's just that when you're doing it, whatever you're called to do, you're supposed to take that and use it to bring people closer to him, if that makes sense. So no matter what God gives you, whatever his purpose he has for you, he wants when you start focusing on that, and you know that it's not about you, it's about God and his purpose for you, for your life, you start to look at things in a different light, and you can start to see things. You could start seeing further out, is what I'm trying to say. You could start seeing further out. And just like I opened up saying, I wasn't able to see myself where I am today because I was so broken last year. I was broken. I had I but I chose to take that brokenness and build something off of it. And I used God's direction to help me do so. So what I'm trying to do is just encourage that person, whether it's a man or a woman, to take what you're going through and use it as a stepping stone for your breakthrough. Don't linger in your problems, because it's not your problems. Your problems you're supposed to give to God. You're supposed to tell your problems how big your God is. and not let that take control of your mindset, of your life, and what it is that you're going through. Like, you're not supposed to let that take control of your life. And so, with me sitting here thinking, because I had even got emotional, that's why my makeup is running. I had got emotional because God has brought me he's brought me from a mighty long way, and he is like preparing me for bigger things to happen in my life, and he's preparing me for um a better life than I have been living and that I'm currently living. And he's showing me things little by little, and he's awakening me to the point to where I know that my life, like I share a lot of things in my life, but I don't share everything. And he has opened my eyes to see, what is shareable and what isn't, and the things that will help and the things that I need to keep quiet on. He's helped me understand that, because that's going to be needed in my life, in my new life, like privacy and boundaries. And because my new life is going to be private, but at the same time, my story will, my it's like my story from my past on up until my future. Like, it's a story. It's all one. It's all one. And it's a testimony in itself of how the manifestation of God's victory is a movement. It's a movement for me, and it will be manifest. It will be spoken on, and I will be able to use that as a part of my ministry in the future. So he's showing me my life. He's showing me bigger, what's bigger, what's to come. But at the same time, my private life, he has shown me that it's gonna have to be what it is, private, for the sake of my marriage and the things that happen in my marriage. um he's opened my eyes up to know that that part of my life, I don't think I'll be able to disclose. I even already said, I had come to grips that my life is going to have to be private. I had already said that even when I start my new relationship, that I wasn't going to expose that I was even in a relationship, because there's people that don't want that for me. There's people that don't want that for me, and they've tried to jeopardize my life. And when it comes to that, so I have to keep that part of me private. And it's sad, it's sad, but at the same time, God opened my eyes to a lot. And like I said, last year at this time, I wasn't even thinking that far out, but he has helped me to come to grips with a lot of things that's going to be changing in my life because of when my new situation happens, because of who it is going to be, and because of the fact that there's people that don't want that for me. They don't want me to be happy. They don't want to see it anyways. And because it's a kingdom marriage, and it's something from God, that, it is a true kingdom marriage, those type of marriages can't be out in the open like everybody else's. So I had to come to grips with, the fact that my life is about to change tremendously in that nature. And I just wanted to kind of do a video to kind of open up the eyes of somebody else who is going through a divorce, and you realize that you're on your walk with God, and he's showing you things, opening your eyes to things that you're not used to, things that you would think like, no, I would never do that. I couldn't see myself doing that, or I would, like, because I have a whole YouTube channel. So I'm like, okay, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna balance it? But God will make a way for you to do what it is that he called you to do. And if he has told you, like he's told me, that your life, that part of your life will have to stay private, he'll make a way for you to be able to continue on your journey and do what it is that you're called to do, and still be able to keep that part of your life private. I'm definitely because I surrendered to God, I listen to everything that he says, and that's one of the main things that I have taken heed to. Um, yeah, I talk about being single now and stuff like that, but when it comes to me getting into my taking that next step and being with the man of God that God has for me, that won't be disclosed. And whatever is disclosed, it will be a mutual agreement with me and him, and of course God, because I don't want to break any covenant with God. And that's a life that we have, like, that's something that I'm taking on as a YouTuber. That's something that I had to come to grips with. It's something that I had to come in agreement with God, and show him that I can do that. Like, that he pretty much has been preparing me for my next steps in life. And so I wanted to kind of do a video that shared, you know, things that I have experienced in my waiting period, if that makes sense, and how the waiting period is not easy, but at the same time, it is a big eye opener to things. And it's gonna make you realize that in order to move on to the next steps in life, there's a lot that you have to change, and God will make you aware of that if you ask him to. And I surely ask all the time, like, show me what it is that I need to change within me, or the things that needs to change in my life in order for me to get to the next step. So I'm hoping that that will help open up the eyes to anybody else that's in this situation. You're currently going through a divorce, and you're in your waiting period for the next things in life that God has for you. It does come with self-discipline. You have to discipline yourself. There's a lot of stuff that I have had to just stop doing in general. Stop doing. I had to check myself on some things and make myself accountable for some things. So God is growing me up. He's growing me up in that nature. And he's keeping me on my journey at a level head, and also elevating me higher to where I know that when that time comes, I'll be ready for it to happen. And I won't have to change that part because it'll already be there. I already know up front that I'm going into something that's going to be sacred, that's going to be private, that's going to be a beautiful thing, but at the same time, it's going to be between me and him. And Was that a hard pill to swallow? Yes, because I will post whatever, and being that because I social media influence or whatever, but I see how that has caused harm in my life. I see how um, sharing things with people has caused harm in my life because it just it just really opens up your eyes. God will really open up your eyes to see things and to see people, like to see through people. And it just really was a wake up call for me. And I'm excited for this new thing to happen whenever it does happen. But I know that I'm well aware of the things that I had to change and the things that will happen, that will take place, and things that I will have to adjust going forward. And that's sad that I have to be that it has to be that way. But in order to protect it, to protect that union, it has to be that way. So if it comes to the point to where that's your situation and that's what God has called for to happen in your life, do it. Just do it. I'm telling you, just do it. Just go ahead and make the adjustments. Go ahead and get it in your mind that that's how it's going to have to be, because do you want to do it? Do you do are, the kingdom marriages is not for you. It's for God, because you have a calling, both of you as one. You have a calling to do what God called you to do together as one flesh. So you're the whole thing behind it all comes back to God and not you. So you will have to force yourself to make some serious changes. If you're trying to get to that one, that one that God, if you really want that one and it's a kingdom marriage, there's a meaning behind it. There's like a purpose behind your marriage, then you're going to have to let go of some things. And that's what I had to do. So I hope this message helped somebody, and that you take it with grace and understand that you have to hold yourself accountable, and you have to take in consideration of the fact that whatever the man that God has for you, it there must be reasoning behind God making you change that about you, because it just it will cause problems down the line if you don't. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that you all take this message and take heed to it if you are in that situation, and understand that it is all about God. It's not about you. It's all about God. God bless.